Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kira, aka Words by Kira, and today I actually have the lovely Melissa Lashley Elliot on, my cousin. So, Melissa, if you don't mind, can you please let the people know your title and the name of your company?
Thank you for having me. I'm the president and CEO of MDL Coaching and Consulting here in New York. However, I do have national clients throughout the country.
Wonderful. So today we're going to be discussing what that profession is like for her and hopefully get some advice for us on our self-care. Thank you, Melissa, for joining. I'm so excited.
So am I.
Great. All right. So first, and for the people that don't know you on my channel, would you mind just giving a little background information and telling us like where you're from or anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'm a cross-cultural person in that I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but I have been raised by my family's homeland in Barbados. And so my roots are there and my branches bloom here.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So how did you get into psychotherapy, life coaching? What prompted you to do these type of professions?
Mhm. Psychotherapy interests me because I wanted to learn how and why people behave the way they do, how their thoughts impacted their feelings and emotions, and more importantly, how I could address my own depression and anxiety. Oftentimes, we go into the work because we need to figure out things, figure out our family dynamics, and so forth. I wanted to be the person that I didn't have, the person of color that I didn't have in junior high and high school, or that my friends didn't have. And they felt, very lost or stuck at certain points of their adolescent age around what their next steps would be. And really having someone to cheer you on and believe in you and push for you and advocate for you.
I love that. Oh, that's such a blessing because I think especially when you do try to do the work and love yourself more, learn about yourself more, you can kind of look back like, dang, I wish I was here for that little version, that little child version, but you can kind of be there in a way that maybe your perspective has changed. So you have a different lens of how you're looking at the past. And just like you're saying, you can help other people in the present day.
That's right. And create that village, right? So if it's not available to you, create it so that you can grow and sustain yourself in a certain type of way. With life coaching, I have an amazing coach, amazing coach, who encouraged me to pursue that avenue. And life coaching interests me because I wanted someone who was in my corner when I procrastinated, lacked urgency, or doubted my abilities.
So let's say somebody's interested in being like a client of yours or a patient or however it's termed. What kind of services do you provide for them?
Yeah, I provide the ability for clients and coach partners to gain insight into their behaviors, feelings, emotions, and the ability to face them and decide what to do with them. That is the service of to service in their most authentic and highest self. Clients have built stronger relationships with people that mean a lot to them. They have developed and maintained boundaries with family members and close friends. They've started businesses, left toxic relationships, reduced debt, advanced their careers, changed their careers, live healthier and happier lifestyles, and loves themselves more deeply.
Oh, girl, sign me up. That sounds amazing. So it sounds like you're able to like learn more about them and then see maybe some negative I don't want to say maybe negative, but like habits that are holding them back.
Mhm.
And then you can kind of encourage them to remove those things. That's really
Yeah.
good, Melissa.
Yeah. And the difference about me is that I believe that the person's already whole, perfect, and complete already before they even enter in my space. And so I'm not looking for deficits. I'm looking for strengths, and I'm looking to build upon those strengths that are in there.
Well, I know you're a woman of faith, and
Hmm.
that is incredibly important. Number one in your life, which I love
Absolutely.
and admire. So do you feel like that helps you in your work? Because you're expending a lot of energy, Melissa. You're helping so many people. So How does your faith or other things help you recharge?
That's a great question. I find myself most recently often having silent prayers in my head when I'm speaking with people, just praying for them, praying that this barrier or, the significant portion of their feeling or emotion or thought will just break. And, I'm secretly doing that, secretly praying. And also, what I'm asking God too is to not take all of that on.
Oh, I love you. I love you, Melissa. Like growing up, for people that don't know, Melissa and I were first cousins, and when I was younger, I always admired her so much because I felt like she's such a warm heart, super intelligent, works her butt off, always educating herself and working so hard in different spaces. And I just want to say that I love that about you and I really appreciate it. It's so good having a family member in my family that is knowledgeable about these things and allows me to talk about how I'm feeling and I can listen to what's going on with her. But I do want to pivot a little bit because I know you also have experience with being a social equity consultant, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So can you speak a little bit about that? Like, how do you help organizations have more equity?
Yeah, I'm grounded in anti-racism and anti-blackness. And so anyone, whether it's individual or organization, has to know that those are my values and have to know that we're willing to have those hard, tough conversations. And so with anti-racism, there's power dynamics. And we have to analyze the internal racial oppression around, protecting white folks when we're afraid that they may harm us. And that's real. And so I like to provide consultation around assessing organizational dynamics of inequality, providing strategic planning on developing programs that are equitable, provide coaching to executives and supervisors on how to be in alignment with their vision of providing equity to persons who are oppressed. This can be done individually or collectively in a group. And so there has to be a willingness for the organizations to want to move that way and an ability to stay the course.
Mm-hmm. You worded that so well because I think sometimes what's happening now are companies are like, how do we help? And then they're kind of putting a lot of pressure on Black employees to do the work. And it's one thing if that's your profession, it's like, okay, you're hiring me and you are properly compensating me for my work. But if you're just an everyday employee, I feel like it's so much to put it on them. It's not right.
It is, and it's not okay to hire an equity consultant that's a person of color. White folks need to talk to white folks. And
Yeah.
so there's, yes, and both and. You have to have someone who can assess and to really help you develop when that corner of their mind that you may not be thinking about. But also you have to do the work if you're a white executive who holds power in an organization to examine your own internal superiority, white supremacy inside of you, and to do that in a safe space with other people that will hold you accountable so that you're not conducing or doing harm on folks of color.
Yes, girl. I hope everybody's listening, no matter what color you are. We all love you, but listen up. Listen up to try to help as best as we can.
Yeah, and it's not a one-time situation, and it's not, let's do one thing and get it out the way and with urgency. And oftentimes white organizational culture would like to do something one time and say, hey, we did it,
Yes.
No, you have to go, it goes deeper into, are you having these conversations with your family members? Are you continually perpetuating the power dynamics in your communities? Or, is this something that you just want to show for in your career? And oftentimes a lot of white folks want to separate the two. Well, I don't do this in my career versus you have to do this, or I don't do this with my family. You have to do this with everything. This is a lifestyle.
Yes.
Change your heart.
Yes, change your heart. Like, what are some landmarks or literally measurable ways that you can see if your company is equitable?
There are a lot of racial equity tools out there, websites that will show you how you're thinking, where you're on the continuum, and how you're moving towards that. And so it's very detailed, and it's a lot of racial equity. I believe racialequitytools.com is a good place to start. The People's Institute for Survival and Beyond is a really good place to start. That's where I learned undoing racism. And And they do a lot of organizing with organizations, and they've been doing it for over 40 years.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, I'm going to definitely include those links in the description box for anybody that's interested in this work and wants to know more. I'm going to do my own research as well because I want to learn what I'm thinking and how I can contribute as much as I can while still protecting myself. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, that leads me to another question. So with all this going on, Black people still being murdered, systematic racism, this pandemic that's killing and people are sick and we're afraid, what are some ways, Melissa, that maybe we can de-stress as a society because it's crazy right now?
Okay, I hope you guys got your pen.
Yeah, get your pens out. Shoot, I got a paper right here for me.
Number one, find your tribe, whether that's tapping into your religious and spiritual groups, talking with your family and friends, or reaching out to your local politicians for figuring out what they're doing in the community. And so really the game is being collective and not doing this on your own. However, sometimes you need to tap out, take a break from the posts, give yourself time to decompress. That maybe that time to just think and reflect and have introspection, and that may be alone time. Number three, check in with your body. Is your heart racing? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you moving constantly, or are you sedentary, just not doing anything at all? How are your eating habits? Really check in with your body. Be informed, resolve your guilt, figure out how you can protest in your own way, and don't compare yourself to others. Know how you fight.
Ooh, girl, how are you this bomb? How are you this way? I love all those advice. All right, so on this channel, my main themes have been self-love, community, and art. And obviously this topic fits right in there with self-love and community, in my opinion. And art too, because you're being creative by figuring out how to help people. So actually, I think we're kind of encompassing the whole thing. And I wanted to ask you, for people that are interested in increasing their self-love, raising their self-worth, do you have any advice for those viewers?
Yeah, this became a revelation actually this week. And so I've been doing a lot of couples work with individuals around the 5 love languages. And I was doing an individual coaching session with one of my coach partners, and it came to mind like that individual's love language to others and themselves was words of affirmation. And I started to think about like, what if we looked at the 5 love languages in taking care of ourselves? Right. And so I went through the different love languages. And so words of affirmation, what are some ways that you are affirming yourself each and every day? You know, is it getting up in the morning and you're talking to yourself in the mirror? Is it that you have a bottle filled with wonderful words of affirmation that you can pick out at any time? Or are you writing them down, right? So both orally, visually, and written ways to affirm the love that you have for yourself. Acts of service, from taking a bubble bath with your favorite scents to eating healthy, feeding your body in a really great way, or doing something really great for others, because that can also boost your self-esteem for yourself, or doing something really great for you, whatever that may look like. Quality time, spend some time with yourself, daydream, write, listen to music, dance. Take that time for you. Gift yourself. You know, maybe there's something that you've been really working hard at and you really see and you want to, you know, indulge in a little bit. Gift yourself. And physical touch. 5 hugs a day keeps depression away. That's right. 5 hugs a day keeps depression away. And so if you have loved ones around you, give them a hug. And there, for some who are living by themselves, hug yourself. Touch yourself. There's these stress relievers where you are tapping on your face, and it alleviates stress. And so those are some ways that I thought that were really unique and creative for this time.
Yes, I especially love the like touch yourself, hug yourself, because I know some of my friends, I know that does feel good, Melissa. I know some of my friends, they do live alone and, with social distancing, it's been a challenge. So that is
Mm.
really excellent advice. All right, so I know you wanted to discuss how COVID-19 has been affecting healthcare, social workers. So please share your thoughts on that. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's not been really in the media, but there have been social workers that haven't stopped working and really taking care of the needs of the emotional, psychological impact that COVID has brought to the healthcare professionals, such as anxiety, loss of control, the trauma that they're seeing on the front lines, and it's increased for those who have experienced or have been contracted with COVID, the fear of getting it again, the fear of spreading it to their family members. And I just want to, let the public know that, social workers, counselors are here. And if you need someone to talk to, please reach out. We're not in this alone, and we need each other as we continue to progress with this pandemic.
Yes, thank you so much. You're right. I think a lot of times with anything, when people are traumatized or they're really struggling, they might just kind of think about themselves or, they can't really see outside. So thank you for allowing us to be reminded, like there are people who are giving so much right now when their tank is already probably very low and they're just pushing through, trying to do the best they can for others. It's important that we acknowledge that.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And that there's different types of griefs too, because other people, may have in your family may have not have died from COVID. They may have died from other causes. And you may not have a space to have those conversations or talk. And so it's important to either, again, get a therapist, get a counselor, or find out if there are any community healing circles that you can pop into to have a conversation about how you're feeling.
I love that. Oh, that sparked another question for me. What do you think might be some signs someone should talk to a therapist?
Yeah, they may be isolating. They may have difficulty sleeping at night, have difficulty finding structure to their day. They may find themselves not having an appetite or eating too much. They might find themselves, really their thoughts occupied by what's going on, or them kind of like numbing out and not thinking about it and just kind of going on. And so those are some of the signs that you may experience.
That makes sense. I know when I started seeing a therapist, I was feeling like really down. I felt like things would easily trigger me. Like I would get really sad or mad, and I kept thinking about the past a lot. So for me, I'm like, okay, girl, I think it's time to talk to someone. And it helped. It really helped me feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah. We need those people in our lives, and it should be normalized. Like we should not have to go through things alone, and we should have someone who can be objective with us, loving with us, kind with us, and see the best in us.
Yes, I agree. Because I think sometimes you can get very isolated, like you said before, or maybe, I know for me, I can maybe sometimes feel like ashamed that I'm feeling sad, or I don't want to make others feel sad or uncomfortable, so I'll just go by myself. But no, that's probably the time you should reach out.
Absolutely.
Is it hard sometimes? I know it has to be hard at times doing the work that you do.
I, my weekends are my weekends, and so I don't do work. I don't answer any calls. I don't reply to emails. Monday to Friday is when I give myself, and then on weekends it's for me and God. Well, every day is for God, you understand, but it's like specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you have that boundary. That's
Mhm.
important.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Melissa, thank you so much for talking to me. I just have one last question. I wanted to ask you, for people who are interested in your services, knowing more about you professionally, to possibly work with you, collaborate, and so on, what is the best way to contact you?
The best way to contact me would be my telephone number, and or email. So my telephone number is 929-234-1697. And that's a business line. You can just definitely call me there, or email me at MDL Coaching and Consulting at gmail.com.
Excellent. I'm going to also include that in the description box, everyone. So you can just see it. Very easy there. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity and to utilize your platform to be with you in this way. I appreciate you so much, Kira.
Oh, I love you. I appreciate you. All right. Bye, everyone.